Two teams freshly formed at the start of this third season in the Dota 2 Pro Circuit. And even though this is not a DPC event, this is their first showing, their first LAN of the season. And they're right here in the grand finals. It is Demon Slayers and Alliance final series of this event, the CORSAIR DreamLeague Season 12. And we're gonna have an amazing, amazing showing of both teams, I hope, because one team is definitely the favorite going in,
yes.
But that doesn't make us less excited for this one, Grant.
No, it doesn't. I think the craziest thing, right, if you looked on this, you saw the 6 teams, there's no doubt in my mind, I think Alliance would definitely be in the top 2, maybe Liquid, like before the tournament, and then Demon Slayers would probably be dead last, and now guess what? They plowed through 3 of the other best teams, and here they are in a grand finals out of nowhere.
At this point, it doesn't matter
it doesn't.
what happened before. If you went 4-0 in the group stage or 0-4, you're playing a best of 5. I think Demon Slayers, they have an advantage because they have this magical run, and it's a huge boost to their confidence.
It really is, it really is. I love you two guys, but I kind of also want a third person on the panel.
Okay.
Can we please, Thomas, can we please play in Moxie?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Thomas. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Moxie.
Welcome back.
I'm excited.
To the nice comfy chair in this case.
I get my own chair. I don't have to share it.
Luxurious.
I like it. Thank you.
Now, we have a lot of things to talk about regarding this grand finals, but before we went on the break, I did also promise you a surprise. I promised you a reveal. DreamLeague Leipzig, anybody? Leipzig Major? Yes!
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 Where's that?
No, that's in Germany.
Oh,
okay.
That's Europe for you, Brand.
Okay.
It's Europe.
No.
Play that somewhere. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's seriously,
that's awesome.
That's super awesome. Of course, unlucky number maybe for some, number 13, but not for us. It's going to be...
That's a lot of people's favorite number, though.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who love it.
Yeah,
Why?
Because it's quirky, because you think of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Isn't that bad?
Think, no, for some people it's quirky.
Murder's good.
Probably
some
Panda's
people.
favorite number.
Please,
Jason, isn't
simmer
that
down.
what it is? Friday the 13th's Jason? I don't know, whatever.
I never heard that one before. But it's going to be a lucky number for us, for sure. Super hyped. DreamLeague Leipzig.
Whatever
excited.
you want. That's awesome.
That's the second major of the season. And I know that we know where the first one is, but now we also know where the second minor is, and now we also know where the second major is.
We do.
So exciting time is ahead, but let's focus our view a little bit earlier on the horizon, because today, grand finals, we got Alliance, we got Demon Slayers, and we would like to see them maybe in a grand finals, maybe in a major as well. But
I would love that.
But for Demon Slayers, they are not, this is it. They have not qualified for anything else for now.
They have not. Obviously, there will be, the tier 2, tier 3 online tournaments that they definitely deserve invites to after, especially like this. But then coming up to the next minor major qualifier, which is a long way away, I hope they stay. That's the thing. Obviously, they had a miracle run, but as we know, NA Dota can be quite the fickle mistress. So.
A little volatile.
Yes,
we'll call it that, for sure. Actually, we are going to start by focusing on Alliance.
Okay.
We haven't talked about them for a little bit because obviously they made it through yesterday to the grand finals. Made it look easy. This squad has had 19 games, 16 of them were wins.
Wow, that's good.
Crazy, right?
That's really good.
That's pretty damn good.
It's good, but let's be real for a moment. They didn't face any of the big names.
Yeah.
4 of those are missing from the first major and the minor. I want to see them so that I can actually judge. Right now, they're looking hot as hell because they know how to play. They read the map. They're fighting around the runes all the time. Their timings are well coordinated. Items as well. Nico Baby. I mean, I kept saying Nico Baby. I know he has 4 other players on his team, but man, Nico Baby is a huge surprise for me.
He's delivering.
Yeah, he plays the map well, and that's like, you could tell that we talked about the people at TI, the standout players were those carry players who played the map, but then knew when they had to come. It pretty much was just Nico, Baby, and Hector at that point, like the two new up-and-coming stars. Yeah, I think everyone does now.
This is his second tournament, Moxie. First one TI, second one DreamLeague.
Yeah,
He's showing up.
It's big, it's big. You know, it's funny though, you're mentioning about Nico Baby, the fact that, you know, he's really showing off the fact he's very good about his map movements, he's very good about farming, when to join fights, and that's also something that, you know, Demon Slayers kind of has going for them too with Costabile. So this will be very, very exciting to watch these two teams.
Yeah, I would say if coming into this, you know, of course being the NA fanboy, I would still say this is probably 80-20 favored for Alliance. I think Alliance, obviously, as you said, we can't really call them tier 1 yet until they play as top teams, but I would say they're about as close as you can get without saying that. They just don't really, even when they lose games, they're close games, and when they win games, they're mostly stomps.
Throughout the Dota history, we had the teams who had amazing performances, and after that, they were just gone. Like, so I need some consistency from them.
Yeah, agreed.
As a player of focus, you guys wanted to talk about Limp. Now, we know Limp, he's been in teams for quite a while. He's always been like in the middle of the pack.
Yeah,
right?
he is. I mean, even when he came, he was
fun.
in NA for like, even when he was in NA, right? He was on Complexity. That was like a tier 2 team at that time, and everyone's like, God, this guy's individual. His laning skill's so good. And then comes the 30-minute mark. He dies once as TA, and they lose the game. Yeah. We have not seen that Limp yet at this tournament. No throws.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly,
it seems like Limp improved a lot throughout the last 2 seasons. Even though I gotta say he didn't have the chance to play with the best teammates.
Yeah.
He was on TFT last team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
It was always a tier 2 team, and I think he has a chance to shine in this one.
You feel like the people that he is surrounded with at the moment basically lift him to the next level.
Well, it works out really well too, because the mids that he usually tends to play are those space creating mids. So, you know, you've got your Tiny, you've got his Lina, that they're both really well known, and, you know, maybe not necessarily the strongest heroes of this patch, but he's always very good at creating that space, so that way Nico Baby can get what he needs done.
Yeah, it is, and you say that, like his Pugna as well, which we saw yesterday, we were like, we didn't even, we saw them pay and we're like, and we didn't know, and then they picked Pugna, and it's a lane dominator, but it's also a save. Like, it's crazy when you get a save from the mid lane.
It's kind of double save. You have the Cripify against the physical resistance, physical attack, and the life drain as well.
Yeah. All right, let's focus on their opponents, the underdogs, Demon Slayers. We witnessed their entire lower bracket run. They didn't get a single win, and they won.
Nope. Don't need it.
They showed up yesterday, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we had a talk, and we're back.
Yeah, sometimes all it takes is just getting 5 people into a room and, you know, making some differences, having a little bit of fun. I know they've been saying they actually can sleep, which is impressive, especially for like first-time LAN players, right? They're like, yeah, we're getting 7 to 8. I'm like, what the hell? I'm getting like 2.
I want to know if they've had any sort of pep talks or something, right? Because you can see the spirit with this group. Every time that they win, they're super excited. You see them scream, like jump up, and they always go for like, you know, the group huddle right before, you know, starting the game. So it makes you wonder, is there one person in particular that's kind of like, all right, we got this guy, and you know, I don't know if it's Flea, because he looks very, very animated during that, but.
He does.
Animated.
Yep.
Right. Demon Slayers as the anime. We have a lot of puns here, but...
Did you know Demon Slayers, I was actually on Twitter, and I have no clue how I got there, but the official anime Twitter voted Demon Slayers the best anime of the last 10 years.
Do they know that they have a Dota team named after them?
I probably not.
There would be a lawsuit, I'm pretty sure, if they knew there was a Dota team named after them.
Nah, we don't want to go there. I mean, if I don't get any lawsuits,
we got like
good.
All right. As focus player, I think it's tough to find a star player for this lineup, because every single one of these players has performed so well. Yesterday, though, for me, my favorite was Flea. He had some incredible runs, especially as his Marana when he was playing yesterday. Position 4, regardless, normally gets a lot of love.
Yeah, everyone loves position 4. I think position 3s are kind of falling off, and
they
take a lot of fun. The guy whose mic is probably working, but he takes a lot of farm, is extremely greedy, which I like. I kind of love the same play style, and he delivers. Like, he does the stuff with the farm. He's not just, yeah, I have a 10,000 net worth, but I'm not doing anything with it, and he knows his positioning in a team fight.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, like, it's crazy. It feels like they're not getting completely carried by him, but you can just see his Earthshaker has turned team fights. Even in the game they lost earlier today, his Earthshaker got like the 5-man Echo Slam, almost turned the game around for them. The man's positioning's insane, and I mean, he's one of the few, like, on this team people probably recognize, you know, from the Freedom days with CCNC and Stan King, and then as well the SG when he was in South America, but he deserves all the love.
He does. We've seen CK in the hands, I think, only of Costabile.
At this tournament, yeah.
At this tournament. And we also heard Skitter say,
it's
not a good hero.
It's bad.
Oh, there's a reason why they're in grand finals, huh?
Yeah. No, but why is he one of those players? You mentioned him earlier, Moxie. Why is he one of those players that can make such a hero work?
I think it's one of those things is that he's usually fairly disciplined. He knows when it's time to fight, when it's time to farm, very similar to their opponents. Like I said, Nico Baby does the same exact thing. And then the other thing is if you have those teammates, if you have Old White who's able to, you know, start making space, and then of course followed up with Flea, like we just talked about, you're gonna have a lot of room to be able to get more done, be more efficient. And with his CK in particular, it seems like it's very rare that you see him waste one of those ultimates. It's usually, he's always pretty focused about, okay, this is our objective, this is what we want, and then they usually transform it into taking, you know, a tower after the fight.
I'm kind of surprised that Skitter said that CK is not a good hero, because back in the Penta days, he played a lot of CK.
Yeah, I mean, it's his most played hero on Dota buff, I believe, so I guess he just didn't believe in it this patch, and it might honestly just be an NA thing, because I know the only person I really saw playing it was Sumail on Quincy Crew, so maybe he just took it from there.
But didn't Fogg say something the other day about how, like, you know, Reality Rift's a bit slow, and the same thing with, like, the stun or something to that effect?
It is. It's one of the worst spells to cast.
Reality Rift, you cast that, and if anyone moves even an inch away, you're not casting that. It is insanely bad cast speeds, but if you actually, going back to that, you watch when they take fights with CK, it's always during the daytime. I was actually watching, and they almost never take fights except when they had the Old White Night Stalker and that, but they just actually only take fights, so you don't get these vision heroes, and it's really good.
Yeah. And I think they figured out the correct item build, like Armlet into Heart. Heart amplifies his heal on the passive as well.
When we saw the replay that we had of the third game just now, of the lower bracket finals, that deciding fight, they also made sure that right before they placed a ward on the high ground to make sure they had vision. Sure, it got countered, but they know what they are playing around. They know that we can.
It's bait too, though, in a sense, right? Because you know that they want to take that down, but the second that they move closer to that ward, they just pounce.
Yes.
And everyone, I mean, that team fight was actually just so amazing from everyone on that team. The ward placement by Juan, and then as we talked, Old White, that duel on a BK beat Kunkka, you're not going to do any damage to him, but he knew that's what they had to do.
Yeah. Okay, we got two great teams.
Ooh, yeah.
We know that there's one underdog, doesn't matter. I am curious what type of game we're going to see, because, Grant, for example, in the third game previously, before the game started, you said, you know, this is an elimination game.
Yeah.
Normally, the start is fairly slow for that, and it turned out the start was slow, the end was quite
quick.
explosive.
Yeah, I think middle through the end, yeah.
Yeah. What type of game are we going to see, like, especially for the first two, there's not going to be an elimination yet?
I think it's going to be very fast-paced. I think with the heroes like Limp and even Nico Baby play, they want to pressure. And then what are Costa Vile's most played heroes here? CK and Bloodseeker. Like, you want to just start running at people. I think it's going to be very action-packed.
Yeah, I have to agree on that one. And I think Alliance will not forgive them if they make any mistakes. They will definitely punish it hardly, and they should be careful. We saw in the previous series when the Demon Slayers played how they made some mistakes that are not common, maybe some inexperience on the land where they were stacking stuns. I don't want to see that. If they don't make this kind of mistakes, it's going to be a really interesting match.
Yeah, how will they do, you think, Moxie?
I don't know. I don't want to see any blade mails on Necrophos anymore, though, I tell you what. No, it should, like Grant said, it's going to be really fast-paced. You can see that both of these teams really want to get an advantage. It seems like once you get control of that laning phase, everything kind of starts to fall into place. And they're not going to be able to allow any sort of mistakes to slide by, because Alliance, they've got a lot of really seasoned veterans. We've got a lot of players here from the NA side, but they haven't done too much in terms of LAN. And you've got to feel that pressure, too, right?
You really do, you really do. It is time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this grand final started.
Well, I feel like everyone likes each other and we like playing together, so that's more of the reason why we're doing well. 4 guys are kind of making sure I get a good game.
On to Nico, maybe. Can they lock him down? Another stun follows up, but he gets the chance to time that. Jules there, they've locked down the leader. Gunner's gone. Deadpot for the high ground. Pippin trying his best.
The way we're playing right now, people are not really on the same page with us, and it's super hard for them to deal with the aggression and how we play as a team. Let's say 4 months ago, nobody wanted to play with me even, and here I am now playing a grand final in DreamLeague. Feels pretty good.
Oh, that was pretty crazy, actually. We didn't expect to go grand final. We fit our games and we took very slowly, step by step, and just work, you know? And we decided to play the grand final right now.
Games on base are never a full series elimination game on land. They're just right-clicking the throne. They do not have it clipped. The right clicks are coming. BKB is pop. Demon Slayer, they're popping off. Let's go.
Yeah, I have been playing for a long time. I never won an international tournament. I don't think anyone of my team did too, so we're just pretty hungry. That would be really, really nice. Lions, we're coming for you.
Demon Slayers, well, we're coming to beat you, and you better be prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alliance and Demon Slayer! Gentlemen, please take your seats. It is grand finals time. 1 best of 5. Winner takes $100,000. I mean, as a loser, you get 60K. It's pretty good too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
100K
is a lot better. That's 6 figures, Sheever.
It is 6 figures if you
That's better
win.
than 5, yeah.
That is madness.
It is. And I mean, just Demon Slayer's having a chance at that, right? Out of nowhere. Whew.
You know what I'm most excited for this series?
What's that?
Captain versus Captain. Ooh.
I agree.
I am, like, obviously Fada has been in the scene and has been in good teams for a very long time, but he's never had the captain role.
Yeah.
And he shows up, gets a squad of 4 good people around him, shows up. You have Xuan, who is, for me, in the North American scene, he's been around and he's been grinding.
Yeah.
For me, he's fairly unknown. And it is so exciting to see new captains rise and being able to lead their team to victory.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. Especially, I can talk more about like the NA captains, right? Because we've had the PPDs, we've had the Kyles, but like, who else really? Like, no one's truly stepped up. I mean, Fly got imported into NA. Like, we haven't had just a homegrown NA one in a while. Juan, he's been on the grind for almost 3 to 4 years now, captaining
SVG,
team after team after team. Yeah, SVG, he's back. Yeah, I forgot, he's unretired. But yeah, I mean, SVG really was the last NA captain to rise, and that was what, 2 years ago when he was?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It is pretty crazy. Now, of course, you know, I know who my MVPs will be already before the game starts, but who will be your MVP? That's the question. It's hashtag and then the player names. We know by now that it doesn't matter how long the name is. You'll make sure you'll choose the right one, especially, of course, for the grand finals. Any player you guys are in particularly looking out for in terms of who's going to do well, who's going to set the tempo for these games? Because, I mean, Grant, you said we're fast games.
I mean, I would probably, if it's going to be a fast games, I might look at the 4s on both sides. I mean, Flea has been just an absolute playmaker, and I mean, it's just going to be tough. Like, it's going to be those rotations on middle, because these middle matchups are going to be very tough one-on-ones, and I think Annihilate, he might struggle a little bit going against Limp, so he's going to need that help.
I'm going to say 33. I love those off-laners and position 4s. 33 showed that he knows how to play from behind, especially in that game with Earthshaker after horrible laning stage. He was just playing with the Morphling that game on Earthshaker, and they pretty much single-handedly won the game.
Yeah.
I've got my eye over on Xuan. Juan's map movements have been so on point. Played Jakira, he started getting these incredible, just like 2-man ice path or more, and like it's just, his positioning's so good, and he's been able to keep his cores alive and make things happen.
Yeah, I don't even think, his positioning's really good. It's his warding I've been noticing. I haven't seen somebody outward PPD like that in a long time. If you're just watching the screen, you just see Juan like ward 185 gold like every other minute. He's de-warding almost every ward. He makes the map blind, and I haven't seen someone do that to Peter before.
And I love how 33 said in his interview yesterday after day one that he only wanted to play with Fara if he's going to be the captain.
Yeah.
That's a huge confidence. Like, he trusts his captain.
And Fada has to feel good about that, right? They're like, oh, thanks, 33, yeah.
Yeah, I like how all of you guys are saying 4 3s and 5s, because we have talked a lot about the mid laners, of course, and about the carries as well, both being doing exceptionally well here. I know we talked about Limp, we talked about Annihilate. I think also a lot of focus on how that mid lane is going to go. And maybe having some saves for them with the people that you mentioned?
You definitely need to, because like I said, I think Limp is a little bit better than Annihilate. I love Danny, but like Limp is just that pure, like when you ask Sumail, who's the hardest guy to play against middle, he would say Limp in NA every single time. When your name gets mentioned by Sumail, it's pretty tough. So I think you are going to have those saves. I think Shadow Demon's going to be highly contested, maybe the most contested hero. Legion Commander and Abba, I think all three of those heroes might just see bans.
Yeah, at this point, I think we should rename the offlane as position 3 to position W.
Yeah.
Playing Omni Knight,
Shield, yeah.
Commander.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Shield, press the attack, and Omnis.
It is draft time.
Whoa.
Awesome.
Grand finals have begun. The mind games have begun, if you will. We've got Tron. We know how these two now lead. We asked them over the course of the last few days. You know, how does your captain work with you? And they do work with the team, you know, asking what they like to play, getting input from the team.
Yeah. I think honestly, NIP, I think they had the bans correct. I think every time, I think Rubik, Mirana, plus Sand King are very, very good bans, and they start off with that Rubik.
And the Razor, actually, as well.
Interesting. Yeah, because they had plenty of chances to pick it in the other series, and they didn't really want to, but that means there is...
Fada probably misclicked. He thought he was picking a hero for
He's like,
himself.
play position 5 Razor, no!
You guys will be happy that the Abaddon's taken out. I know both of you are really sick of seeing that hero and all the...
Wait, that is actually the future, if you think about it. Position 5 Razor, stealing the damage. I'll test it, trust me.
You test it, but
Not in my pubs, thank you.
Yeah, but Moxie, I agree. I think Abba is just a hero. I think Abba and Legion are two heroes that are going to see, honestly, massive nerfs possibly in the next patch. There goes the Void. The Void got heavily ignored, obviously, but when you're against Nico Baby, they've showed they will first pick it overall if it's left in the pool.
Is it worth it to ban the Kunkka early? Again, we haven't had the best win rate, I know, Sheaves, but it is a very strong laner.
Yeah.
It's weird in this series, because if Demon Slayers picks it, it's going to be Old White playing it, and we haven't really seen Limp played as much, so I'm not sure how contested the Kunkka actually is, and which is strange, right? Because I do think it's a top 5 hero.
Yeah, I feel like
two teams.
Opening with the position 5 who has a support, that really can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Something like a Wyvern, Shadow Demon, we see that a lot of time. Even
Coddle would be really good.
Kind of save.
Yep. There goes the Legion.
Coddle or Shadow Demon, one of those is getting picked up if they're not banned.
All right, are they going to take out the Omni, get rid of the 3 Omni, get rid of the W trio, yeah. I don't think they will. I don't know if, I mean, Alliance, I know he plays Omni, but I don't know if you really want to pick an Omni after seeing what it does, because it doesn't do anything, it's reactive.
We have not seen Omni win.
Yeah, not the best.
Well, didn't they win one game?
They did win game.
Yeah, Universe played it for one game.
Yeah.
But there were other problems in that game as well.
I'm just not a fan of reactive heroes, and in games like this where you know it's going to be fast-paced, I think like you're depending on the other team to make a mistake. You never want to do that. They do ban the Coddle, so that means Shadow Demon is in the pool.
Same goes for Mirana.
Yeah.
I think opening with Shadow Demon is better. I mean,
I agree.
It depends. Like, because you have a save, you have a setup, so if they don't pick Mirana, you're going to go for it. A lot of my games going on.
I mean, if they don't go for either, you could just get Shadow Demon Mirana as well.
I don't think, in a grand finals match, I don't think you let that slide by. There's no way, right?
Probably not, but I mean, it is Alliance. They have been the best team here. Maybe they want to test out Demon Slayers, and they will take the Kunkka.
All right.
All right. I mean, I like it. It's not as big as Limp has played, like, right, the TA got the exact same nerf as the Kunkka. You lose the bonus damage on the denies, and obviously he's just
How is that
lane
even in
dominator.
the game? How OP was Kunkka back then?
And the fact, like, people didn't abuse it as much as they even do now. Think if Kunkka did that now, it would be first banned every game.
Sometimes it still is,
It is, yeah.
even without it.
There's the Mirana.
Okay.
Whenever we want Juan to pick Shadow Demon, he doesn't, though, and he goes with a different 5, so I'm curious.
Extremely great, just for setting things up for Mirana and save against the Kunkka's combo.
You can't give up Kunkka SD. It's actually feeling like, you're almost forced to pick it, it feels like. And they do. I mean, it's the best pick, and you're kind of forced to pick, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and it's a nice combo overall.
It is.
And we've seen what he can do with this particular hero. He's come through with some incredible saves.
Yep. Oh, this has been Juan's best hero by far, and I'm so glad, because when I was watching him in the qualifiers, it was Bane every game, and Bane's a lane dominator,
That
not
sucks.
a game winner. Shadow Demon, he kind of does both.
Yep, and we have probably got Flea on his Mirana.
Yep,
Not opposed to that either, so
I am not either.
I think they're in a good spot.
I do. I mean, it's a great opening. I want to see this next year. I like looking at the 2v2, and they take Jakiro, so this is pretty much what we saw in Game 3 of last series. You got the Shadow Demon on one side, Sojuani, instantly they take the Jakiro, just the counter.
It's great because if you use defensive disruption, there's going to be an ice bat following that up, and you're suddenly stunned.
Yeah, it's funny. Like both these heroes punish defensive disruptions real hard. A Torrent, a Boat, an Ice Path, even just the Macro Pyre.
Oh, you can stay one step ahead, just don't use this.
Just don't use the ability.
Don't use
Yeah,
it at all.
he has been. Is that how most Shadow Demons are going? He doesn't get any points in poison.
Because he's playing position 5. I mean, you can get 1-2 points depending how the game goes, but your W is still the strongest. He's strongest spell for sure.
I mean, you just see a team fight, and all of a sudden a core is at 50% HP. You're like, well, how'd that happen?
Alliances turn to ban.
Ban the OD out.
And the Omni gets taken out too.
I'm cool with that.
Yep.
That hero
I'm
just
not seeing
slows
that hero
down.
anymore.
Yeah,
Just Heavenly Grace.
I am
Get
okay
out of
with
here.
that.
Of all the saving heroes, he's probably the most boring one.
Yeah, because even Abba, right? Abba wants to push towers with this thing. Legion Commander wants to get a duel. Omni wants to sit behind you.
Yeah, he'll just stand there,
10 seconds
raise his
remaining.
hammer.
5 seconds.
Which opening do you guys favor? Because, I mean, you talked a lot about how both Kunkka and Jakiro are countering the Shadow Demon, but we also talked a lot about how Shadow Demon was probably the best hero to have right now. What actually do you favor?
I like the Mirana Shadow Demon opening just because of the fact that you've got Moonlight Shadow, which is really good for initiation or trying to get out of any bad situations, especially if they're not carrying dust. And then, you know, the Shadow Demon, he has a save.
Yeah.
That alone right there is very valued to me. Plus, you know, he does have the Demonic Purge. So it's nice. Kunkka's nice too, but I guess the Boat kind of, you know, gives you a little save with the rum, but it's just not the same quality.
It's hard to tell at this point. I mean, Shadow Demon has more benefits because he has an ability that pierces BKB, and this is always going to be, no matter what stage of the game you're talking about. And he kind of scales better. But if Jakiro lands a better ice, but there's a lot of ifs if we talk about who's better.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Shadow Demon's the best overall hero here, but Kunkka, I mean, if Kunkka has a good start, I mean, apparently it's not the best because we saw Gunnar have one of the best starts and then kind of crumble it away, but...
But was that the hero, though?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the hero, but... yeah, I mean, it definitely was Gunnar,
It's a tough
but-
balance, right?
Yeah,
Because Gunnar is a great player, but we saw him make some mistakes as well.
Yeah, you can, and I mean, that's the problem with Kunkka. If you are so far ahead, you want to push that advantage. Like, Kunkka's not a hero where you get ahead and then you farm and stay ahead. You get ahead and you want to pressure the map, so he was forced to pressure because that's what Kunkka does, but I think it's pretty much just 50-50 right now with these openings.
Okay.
I did feel like Gunnar was enabled pretty well too during the game when he got the Rampage, because you had Universe on that axe, really jumping forward, holding people into place so he could get the cleave damage off and just follow up with boats. So.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Demon Slayers is just gonna pick a Sand King out of these bans. Like, that's Old White's best hero. He hasn't actually got to play because everyone's banning it versus him right now. And then on Alliance, we don't really know where this. I mean, because I actually don't know how they play Kunkka. I know Limb will play it, but they could play it in off lane as well.
It's also a good game for a Centaur. Pairing it up with Shadow Demon. They ban Slardar. This might say the Juggernaut. I know Alliance loves to play it, and it's definitely a counter ban to what they want to pick right now. Maybe they don't want to reveal the hero yet, but definitely third, fourth pick hero.
I know Slardar is actually good against CK as well, and maybe Demon Slayer's like, well, NIP didn't know that, but Alliance might, and they could just go for a CK again.
5 seconds remaining.
They're using a ton of their time.
Yeah, they really are.
They did. I figured. I thought
There
it
it
would be
is.
it's his best hero, and it's a very good hero. It gives you the low cooldown stuns, which you love. It gives you, I wouldn't say a lane dominator, but someone who could just sit in a lane and soak stuff even under his tower without like really being scared of dying.
Yeah, right now they have 3 heroes who are not cooldown dependent. They can pretty much fight all the time, which benefits them more if they're trying to go for a Roche or just defend a Roche.
Fada, he's thinking. He's got the hood on. Did you ever have, like, when you were at LAN, was there ever something you just did and then you didn't want to stop doing it?
Feed.
Well, yeah, well, you never
you
stopped,
go.
so yeah, it works.
You did it. Congratulations. I can't help but think, you know, that Sand King, we know that it's been banned all the time. We know Old White's crazy on that. Surely Fada knows that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's got a plan,
Yeah.
right? Because they banned out I Annihilate Shaker instead. They banned out the OD instead.
I mean, we saw one of the best ways to beat Sand King. They just, it was just Crystal Maiden AM actually got played twice. And all you do is bring Dust, and if you just drain his mana, like, that actually just beats the lane, because if he can't Sandstorm, he's useless. Oh, number 2 of the tournament.
Number 2.
They could also be thinking about a life stealer because this Slardar really gives him trouble.
Hey.
There it
my
is.
friend. Anna, you obviously already have the Sand King. We don't really see like these life stealer bombs per se anymore, but I mean, it's still very good with the Sand King.
I love the pickup because they have nothing that goes through his rage TP, so they definitely need something from the offlane, either something like a Beastmaster, maybe even Enigma. You definitely need something. Like, you don't want to pick Batrider into Lifestealer and there aren't too many options left.
I don't really like the Enigma, though. I feel like that's such a high cooldown, and they want to play super fast, right, on the side of Demon Slayers. They really want to go in and have these skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even seen Enigma at all. I agree. You actually have to have something that pierces this BKB, or else if Lifestealer Rage TP's in front of you 5 times, like, you're going to be tilted. He's probably going to have a Radiance in 12 minutes, and you're probably going to lose.
All right, so other than Enigma, what else can we
I like
expect?
Beast.
Beastmaster's not bad. If they hadn't picked up the Earth Spirit, I would have said Tusk, but he's
Let's
not.
see. All right, we said this was going to be one of the contested heroes, Bloodseeker, as well as, I think, Lycan might be contested in this. It's a best of 5, so we have a lot of games,
But this also, I mean, we were talking about Demon Slayers having that fast pace. This also looks like a fast-paced game for Alliance, right?
No, I think that's what we expect. They're just going to actually just butt heads over and over again.
Those are the type of games I like to see.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried though, because sometimes when both teams are expecting the other to be aggressive,
They
both
both-
are
back, yeah.
gonna wait for the other to be aggressive
Yeah.
and neither do anything. So we'll see how the start goes.
And it is
But it
interesting.
should be fun.
Because the one thing we're missing on both teams right now is building hitters. So how do you play aggressive if you can't hit a tower?
Yeah.
That's going to be the tough part. So we'll see if they address it.
You can solve it with your mid on Demon Slayers.
I feel like when you have a Mirana, though, you kind of always really want to be playing aggressively, because otherwise, as a 4, you're just kind of sitting around, you're doing nothing, you can't really
Alliances
make much of an impact.
Flea likes farming a lot, though.
He
Flea
does.
doesn't mind sit. Flea will sit back and he will farm up. I mean, he hasn't gone the Ags yet on the Mirana like this, but when he was playing the open qualifiers for this tournament, he got at Brown Boots Ags first item, and I'm like, I guess it's still a thing.
It is. And they get rid of the Beastmaster. They know it counters the Lifestealer. I want to see some building damage on Demon Slayer's side. Something like a DP.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, DP, we've seen I Annihilate loves playing it. Limp has, these might actually be the 2 most played DP.
They ban it out.
Maybe in it. No, it's not happening.
Are we sure these headsets are not soundproof?
Well, I think if they're listening to you anyway, that's probably a bad sign.
Yes.
Got him.
They got bigger problems if that's the case.
No, but I think DP was good for both teams, so Alliance clear doesn't want it. And they have to pick first. So they have to reveal if Kunkka is middle or is that offlaner. Because it still could be either one, I think. I almost like the offlane Kunkka, and you just use him as utility and then get heavy, some sort of heavy, maybe Alina here.
I mean, that is one of Limp's best heroes if they want to put that Kunkka in the offlane.
Dire team pick.
Oh, okay. Hello.
That's a new
new one, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello there, mister.
What do we think about that? You can Sprout Lifestealer, but he's going to have a Quelling Blade, so it doesn't really do that much.
It's just very fast-paced, and it is a building hitter. You have your building hitter, and the best part is, it's not even a group-up building hitter, which sometimes you want like a DP. It's a, I'm going to go TP, push top, you guys go defend bottom. We can trade towers very efficiently for ourselves.
And Nature Prophet was picked a lot when the Oracle was super popular, where you just zone him out, send the treants on him, and he can't do anything. I guess that's the same reason for the Shadow Demon, and they needed some extra tower damage.
I bet Bulldog is watching right now. This is, you know, these are his boys, so
Yeah.
he's probably going to be watching very, very carefully.
Alliance with Nature's Prophet.
A little bit of pressure probably getting placed on him right now. And they don't have a clear cut.
Oh.
Okay, I was about to say, they need someone who can do with split pushing. And Ember Spirit's definitely one of those people. I annihilate Ember.
I gotta analyze. It is a 3 melee core on Demon Slayers, but I mean, they don't, I mean, it's pretty melee heavy on Alliance besides its Nature's Prophet, but.
I like this pick for I Annihilate.
Yeah.
I like the heroes where he can get in and get out and then rejoin the fight. He seems to shine on those a lot with the Earthshaker, with the Queen of Pain. I think that's a great pick for him.
Is it enough?
Is it enough? That is the question. I mean, you know, I'm gonna stick with Demon Slayers. I like an underdog story. I like what they're putting down here, as long as they can stay focused.
I'm gonna go with my boys Alliance here. Their face best lineup. I think they have a lot of sustain, and this Nature's Prophet, it's been a while since I saw this pick, and I don't think it's necessarily bad of a hero, but since you're not playing against it, it's really hard to know what to expect from him as well.
Okay.
And you know I love NA, but it's gonna have to be Alliance. I think this Bloodseeker actually counters Sand King pretty hard, right? You wanna sit in a Sandstorm, you throw down a Blood Right, all of a sudden, even in the laning phase, you don't think Bloodseeker's that good. No, wait, you're out of Sandstorm, it's a 50 second cooldown. I think Alliance will win this by 29 minutes.
Wow.
Ooh, wow. Very
Bold prediction.
bold
I
prediction.
will join Moxie on this one because I've been on the Demon Slayers hype train. I will continue to be on the Demon Slayers hype train, at least for one game. We're going to find out what is going to happen here in the grand finals of the CORSAIR DreamLeague Season 12. Over to OD Pixel and Lizard.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, the grand finals ready to go between Demon Slayers and Alliance. Listen, you know, Demon Slayers, they've made it this far. They're up against Alliance. Now, I think a lot of people would agree that Alliance have looked that much better pretty much than all the other teams here at the LAN so far. Can Demon Slayers do it? Can they take on this final boss?
I just want to see a perfect Cinderella story. I know it's biased a little bit, but man, they got through the lower bracket. They beat, what, 3 teams in a row right now, and they're in the finals versus Alliance. Alliance that's been looking very solid for the last month. This new stack, under the guidance of Fata, has been on fire. They have 3-3 Nature's Prophet. Now, they talked about Furion. You don't see it very often. It's not a hero that's picked a lot. But, like, if you think about it, versus Mirana, it should be good. You can't land those arrows, as he can always use the treants to mess with that, right? So the Shadow Demon plus Mirana combo will not work against 3-3. That's already a good thing for them. And 3-3, he's been known for quite a strong Furion player. The rest of them, you see this Bloodseeker versus the Nyx. Bloodseeker should be favored there as well. Like, Nyx can rage, but you have that Rupture to work with. And Alliance has a bunch of magic damage too.
I'm going to see. Actually, a bit of a setup here. Disruption into the arrow comes into play. They've found the Bloodseeker. Nico Baby out alone with the Flame Guard. They'll run him down. This should easily be first blood. I think they want to try and give it to I Annihilate, and they will.
Just give it to the man. He's been on fire for the last, what, 24 hours. He's been just dominating.
I think last couple of seconds there. I believe that's how long Flame Guard lasts at the level.
Good point. Good point. He's been on fire. All right, they do secure themselves some bounty runes on the bottom lane. Old White is going to take these two most likely, while Ember just strolls back to the... Oh, what is this? We see some very deep action.
Oh, imagine if they get it again, the disruption combo. I mean,
that would be
a bit
quite
of a
tilting.
killer. Yeah, it would just be the 2 of them, so even if they land it, probably wouldn't kill him.
There we go. Let's
poke.
They will try for it, I
Let's try it. Why not, right? I mean, TPs are going to be forced. Fada will be there to block the arrow.
Oh,
And let's see if they can punish this. One has been left behind. So the three of them will surround him in the trees. So they'll get the kill on the Shadow Demon for that attempt.
But he could get away, right? Like Hanskin. Unfortunately, yeah, he moves back. He's like, all right, Mirana, go, run. Save yourself, son. I'll die for you.
So anyway, sort of getting into some of these lanes, is there anyone you're sort of worried about in the laning stage? Anyone going to suffer in these first few minutes?
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see like some stomps on a lane. This top lane is definitely where the game is going to be made, right? 3-3, how much space will he have? Are they going to trial in him all the time? Will he be able to just, look, Treants blocking the arrow, but can they take him down? They can't. He's just way too good. The arrow connects on the tree, and look.
But he could just turn.
Run!
Yeah, it's run. Has to be careful. I mean, next time around, if he does get blocked in by the Treants, it's going to take quite a hit. Does have to salve up on the Shadow Demon.
Also, that's so good for them because that's a solo Nature's Prophet getting so much out of that top lane. If you look at it, I believe it's being pushed into the lane as well. So he's going to get a lot of experience, a lot of CS, which opens up the map for the Jakiro, for the Earth Spirit to just do something else on bottom lane or on the mid lane.
And then, of course, this mid lane that the panel was talking about, you know, saying that Annihilate, he is going to have his work cut out against Lim. You know, one of these players that's incredibly strong mechanically in the middle lane. The Ember versus Kunkka lane, can Annihilate have a good time, or is this a difficult lane to play?
It's not an easy lane, but he can have a good time as long as he starts rotating. Oh, the Centaur coming in to help there. Some assistance.
Do get the Bloodbright laid down. A little bit of a slow, but can't chase it.
They definitely needed that slow from the kick. If that connected, I believe they could have taken Old White down. They failed to do so, and he survives. Actually, very interesting. Tri-lane on tri-lane action isn't happening in this game. Instead, we have these three heroes on top lane trying to mess with Furion, and then at the same time, three heroes trying to zone out the Sand King completely. We went back to, what, 2015, in which the offlaners are just forgotten.
Yeah, something that we sort of slowly moved back to, I guess, over the course of this event. Interesting to already see sort of the changes in the ways teams have played from day one to just this third and final day. Flea.
3-3. He has no treants around him, and Flea is invis. This might be a kill.
I think this is certainly going to catch him off guard. Didn't expect Flea to be there, so was playing a little aggressive, not ready for the 1-2 combo, the disruption into the arrow. That'd be another pickup here for Demon Slayers.
Yeah, that's a good kill for them. Flea moving towards that mid lane to get the rune, instantly goes back, takes down 3-3. 3-3 has been having a good time on that offlane, getting a lot of experience, a lot of CS, so it's important to shut it down. Also, be advised, 3-3, he's playing... Oh. Nah.
Yeah, with the roll missing. It's a bit of a hard one. They do go for the grab back, but he has the Flame Guard, will be able to block a lot of that torrent damage. In fact, he's just going to take, he's got a Sleight of Fist, he's going to kill him! Lim's dead! That's a lie there.
What was that?
He can still kill this as well. He's still got a Sleight of Fist. If he could keep hitting this a couple more times. No.
Calm your horses.
He's getting gagged and he's killing Lim. That was a bit of a mistake there from Alliance. He's not quite expecting that, because the Flame Guard only just came back available for Annihilate. Maybe they felt that they could get in and go for that. It was really looking a little dodgy, right, when the roll is missed.
Yeah, the roll is missed. Like, when that happens, you should back out. You should be like, all right, we missed. Let's cut our losses, let's go back, let's regroup, perhaps catch him out some other time. However, they felt pressure to take down December before he hit 6, because once that happens, he's able to rotate across the map. This Bloodseeker is an easy kill for him, and so is the Furion. They don't really have these abilities that allow them to survive versus the Ember Spirit that's rotating. And the only thing that they managed to do is feed him and get him to that 6 even faster.
Oh, very solid start for Annihilate, keeping the farm even in that mid lane and getting that kill. 24-3, 24-3, very, very close really in the CS, but of course that kill setting them apart. Bottom lane, Burrow Strike will be there, but a little too slow. Still gets hit by the silence, and with that in mind, Nico Baby can chase him down, take him out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Old White, he tried to move out of the way so that he can Burrow Strike out of the Bloodbright. Didn't really do it perfectly, got caught, lost a lot of HP, and then Bloodseeker with those third stacks just gets him easily.
Now Lim does have to be a little careful now. Annihilate hitting the 6. Will have that extra burst to offer from the Remnants if he does see an opportunity to get Lim low.
He doesn't have Flame Guard to work with right now, so he has to go back perhaps, gets his bottle refilled, and just continue laning until he has the Flame Guard. Then he can be aggressive once again. But bounty runes.
Allbite has got the stun. Will be able to get in and won't actually be able to pick it up. Fada's still able to grab that one as the stun didn't quite catch the dragon. So Allbite unsuccessful there in his attempt to protect the bounty rune.
Yeah. Overall, they got the 2 bounty runes on the bottom lane. Pretty good for Alliance, but keep an eye out on 3-3. This guy, he can rotate across the map. Remember, strategically, he changes the way the game is played. If you go on, let's say, I don't know, this mid, if you try to go on limp, he can perhaps port in and just come to the rescue. He can get a couple of kills. And if that Furion does a good counterplay, suddenly your tower is gone. Those treants start attacking and everything changes.
Yeah, absolutely, you can definitely expect to see Annihilate always play with having at least 1 remnant available defensively.
And a couple of Quelling Blades. You don't
sure,
want BRTs.
Always keep that Quelling Blade on him, yeah, for the most part of the game. Elsewhere, Nico Baby. The pressure on him, mid lane limp, getting a little low, does have the bottle charges.
This game definitely allows Alliance to be super aggressive after the laning stage. Couple of bracers on the Kunkka, drums phases on the Bloodseeker, and you should be able to pressure Demon Slayers quite a lot, especially if Nyx goes for that Radiance build. Because if he does that, Nyx that we haven't really talked a lot about as phases, going towards Midas, he will be AFK for quite a long time. In this particular game, he could go for right click as well. You have Nyx Sand King combination, you could jump in, but we'll see what he decides to go for.
Mid lane again, Hansken hanging around behind Limp. That's actually the top lane where a setup's going to be made. 33 once again getting caught out by the 2 supports. Juan and Flea getting the work done, setting up some action for Costabile to get involved in bottom lane. Another burrow strike from Allbite won't allow him to escape the Bloodbright. Alliance will surround and set up kills. Both safe laners getting involved in some good action. Nico Baby and Costabile off to hot starts.
I see Limp is doing the same thing that Gunner was doing in that last match. I believe he's stacking Ancients with the Torrent. Was he successful? Needs a little bit more practice.
A little off the timing.
It's trying.
Radiant are scanning.
We'll get them eventually. We do have a smoke up from Alliance, getting a bit of war control here. Also using the scan to make sure Demon Slayers weren't hiding around in the neighborhood. 7.5 minutes in, 4-3, less than 1k between them.
Yeah, these 2 carries are doing really well. Bloodseeker on one side, Nyx on the other side. But you have to ask yourself, which one of these heroes comes online faster? It's all about the item builds. As you can see, Lifestealer phases into Midas. That doesn't sound really scary. On the other side, you're going to have a Bloodseeker in the mid game with drums, with phases, with wand. He will be more active for sure, and here we go.
This time, Allbite is going to get some backup coming in. We'll turn with the Burrow Strike. Fada's caught underneath the tower. He's trying to do his best to bring down the Sand King, but a defensive disruption from Juan will keep the Sand King safe. With the rotation from Annihilate as well, they can look to try and take more away from Alliance. Hansken being chased down. He's keeping himself on top of the Earth Spirit. Will find the kill, double kill for the Ember, and he's not done yet. He'll chase down 33. Juan and Allbite trying to help keep him on top. Flea's coming around as well to set up for more. Arrows out. It's not going to connect onto 33. He'll turn, Sprout, Torrent combo Limp. He's got the setup, the silence into the bow. Annihilate's been punished. He stuck around too long, and with them getting low, Nico Baby zooming around, takes down a second. He's even going to look to try and chase down Flea as Flea. He's got 1 more leap to make it down to the low ground. Bloodbright will be off the mark.
Yeah, and he has that bottle to work with, so he will heal up. Oh, if you're Demon Slayers, man, you can get ahead of yourself a little bit because you just want a good 3 game versus NIP, and this is what happens when you feel a little bit too confident. You try to make these plays, even though you shouldn't be doing them. Like they have their core involved here. Nico Baby, he's ready to fight. Your core, your carry isn't.
One Annihilate. He's straight back in, looking for 33. 33 goes for a casual TP out, and the trees will make it. Allbite not quite able to get in time with the Burrow Strike. Ruptures down. Nico Baby maybe setting up for another kill as Fada tries to get the damage down. Epicenter being channeled up to try and dissuade them from getting closer to the Sand King. Annihilate continue the chase down on a Fada. He's still got a remnant to play with if he wants to jump in. He's just keeping it cool. Sleight of Fist will be there in a second to finish off the kill.
At the same time, Bloodseeker taking down the Sand King and now going for Juan. Double kill. Wicked sick, Nico Baby. He's involved.
Oh, and now
this is where he is the strongest. Annihilate has 1 remnant.
He has. He's got 1 jump, but Nico Baby's there and prepared. Flame Guard's back on, but Annihilate is being outnumbered. Silence out from Hansken. The slow as well. They're controlling the Ember. He'll turn with another slight. Nico Baby stick charges, healing back up. Flea, he's trying to chase for Hansken. Another Sprout from 33 to hold Annihilate back. Give Nico Baby the space to retreat, but it will cost 33 his life. Flea and Juan will hold him down. Another slight, that'll do it. Annihilate continues to rack up the kills on his Ember.
All right, they get this one good kill on 3-3, and at the same time, Costabil, he's farming the top lane. He got, I believe, one bounty rune as well. No, Limp stole it away, but he's farming. Oh, another kill on Hanskin.
I'm going to watch this play up top, see if they can go for this, but with him inside the Centaur, Limp's already given up on the chase.
Yeah, he's fine. He's complete. Nyx is such a difficult hero to kill this early on, especially if you don't have any BKB piercing abilities. Like, that's why a position 5 Bane comes in handy versus the Nyx. Obviously, the Enfeeble, but then again, the grip that goes through BKB. Sadly for Alliance, they don't have anything but the Rupture.
What we're seeing sort of a core on each side really starting to get so active and involved. Nico Baby 7-1-1, and then you look over to Annihilate, he's also starting to just be involved in, I mean, 7-1-0. It's almost identical at how active sort of both of these cores are for each side.
If you were writing a story about this tournament, you could have two lines, one about Nico Baby and the other about Annihilate. Nico Baby has been on fire since day one. He's been really dominant. Annihilate, not so much. He's been that clowny character for the first day, and then he just became a beast.
And now that they're trying to use the power of the Bloodseeker directly against Costabile's lifestealer. They're making the move, but Costabile's not to be caught out. Quick rage and a TP out will get him away from that 4-man attempt of Alliance. Meanwhile, Xuan's finding the space to put some heavy damage onto the bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, with that catapult, you can see that he is on 50% HP. He's been tanking the tower so that the Karti does majority of the work. But 3-3 and Nico Baby, they don't have to do no such thing. They have these 3 ends and the tower will fall very fast. So a tier 1 for tier 1, a mirror movement pretty much from Demon Slayers and Alliance. Because you have to understand that at one point, it's not good to defend anymore. You can't do it. Arrow?
Set up, it's perfect. They've got the change done into the epicenter. That's going to come across the world. Change connection onto Limp. It's not enough. The Conquer will survive. Turns now with an attempt onto White. TP won't save him. Nico Baby gets the kill off. See if they can catch anyone else. The rest of Demon Slayers immediately backing away. They will get everyone else out of there. Only Flea to fall.
Mirana falls, yeah, Flea falls, but then again, you forced almost everyone from Alliance to be there. Everyone, actually. Meanwhile, Nyx still chilling, farming, having a fun time. Annihilate.
Gotta be a little careful. Even though he's on his own, he does have that DD.
This is just space, right? He's just, come and catch me, come and kill me if you can. Even if he dies, it doesn't matter because they're buying time. They are waiting for this Nyx to come online. However, I have to state my concern that Nyx versus Bloodseeker, that can be hairy for him. Even later on in the game, Rupture can be difficult to deal with. But we did see Costabile, I believe yesterday with that Nyx, he carried the game hard, so... Oh, actually, no Radiance. He wants to get involved a lot sooner. He's going for the armor build.
So do you like this game? Like, why would you sort of go for this more involved build? Is it that you're looking at this Bloodseeker and saying, well, Nico Baby's getting so much done, I can't sort of afford to go super greedy with the build?
I'm not certain if it's the right choice even. I have to see it like the way it pans out, but it's definitely a good build because of the action-packed game that we're seeing right now. You have the Sand King, he's gonna have a blink, you have this Ember Spirit as well. They're able to just jump in and wreak havoc on the side of Alliance. So if you can get involved with Nyx, why not? You can take down, let's say, this Bloodseeker with one jump in. They don't have a lot of save. I think that's the biggest thing. You can burst down targets.
Midnight Shadow from Demon Slayers here in an effort to potentially set up a kill on top. 33's trying to push it out. Unbeknownst to him, there's a Sand King hot on his trail.
Yeah, he's the usual suspect.
There's very little 33 can do about this one. Dropping the epi as well to make sure it's a quick and easy kill for the Demon Slayers.
3-3 has suffered quite a lot though. Like, they've been able to just take him off the board a couple of times in the laning stage, and right now as well, they just find him with the Moonlight's Shadow. They prevent him from out-pushing this top lane, which is really good for the side of Demon Slayers. They're not threatened around their tier 2. And at the same time, they can continue pressuring the Radiant jungle.
See mid Fleet. Try to catch out Limp there with the stray arrow. Won't quite be the case though. Big items coming out early on as we do have the Veil now complete on Sand King. Old White ready to buff up this team, which at the moment really is heavily magical, especially with Annihilate getting as involved as he has been on the Ember.
You can see these both offlaners are going utility. Well, some more damage from the Sand King, obviously, with the Whale. On the other side, you have Furion with the Vlads. Vlads, possibly some Solar Crest or something similar after. And just your casual build on Nyx, going for Desolator after Armlet. They want to fight as soon as possible. It's surprising just how long these tier 1s on mid stay alive in all of our games today.
Demon Slayers. So if they can find anything mid, they'll get the Siege Creep, go for a bit of a poke with the chains, but not committing too heavily onto Fada.
Yeah, it's a tanky, bulky dragon. That's a big dragon there. He doesn't have any bracers yet. He has one in his quick buy, but like you still don't want to jump on him. If you do, and if you get your combo broken, but by let's say a boat or a torrent, suddenly there's ice path, there's torrent, there's everything on top of you, and you can't survive.
Another attempt with the arrow, won't get him again. Once more, Annihilate trying to apply a bit of hurt onto Fada. And Limp shows his face, and Annihilate has to respect the X mark, get himself out there whilst this continues. Space is there for 33.
Strategically, I love their positioning. You have this Jakiro out pushing mid all the time, just being a nuisance. Even if he dies, he dies. It's not a big thing. While Limp farms the Ancients, and now he might farm this Shadow Demon too.
If we go with the setup, does whiff the X mark combo there, but doesn't matter at all. They've got the dust upon him with the TPs in, no escape for Juan. Annihilate, he's still trying to poke at this. He wants to get some going because Flea and Old Boy, they're coming with the wrap round. The two-man burrow strike catches them out. Epi's out. Double kill for Old White. Fada, he's trying to turn things around, set up, but there's the jump forward with the Remnant. He's straight on top of Fada. Costabile's getting involved as well. He'll munch on the Dragon. The Dragon is dead. Nico Baby has got the newly picked up BKB. He cannot fight with it though. He has to pop it and get out of there. Demon Slayers take the fight on top of Alliance's Shrine.
I love the BKB purchase by the Bloodseeker, but he needs more damage. They need to be involved properly with this Kunkka, with everything, with the boat, with Third Spirit's ulti. But if you waste so much time and so many spells to take down a Shadow Demon, his job is done. After that, you're just gone. They're so involved. Everyone from Demon Slayers. The Nyx also joined that fight. I believe that's the first fight that he really joined. And he loves Jakiro, and he loves this. Just the absolute unit Jakiro is, because he feeds through him fast.
Oh, yeah. Gets a lot of heals, and you know, yeah, as you say, he's going to be hitting him instead at full HP pretty much. Does go back now, he's eyeing up the Radiance. I mean, you said yourself you weren't sure about going maybe all in on sort of this right click, and you know, have a little bit of taste for the greed, and with the amount of money that he's stockpiling, why not, right? You're going to get away with still having a very good Radiance timing on top of this Midas Armlet.
Yeah, a little bit of both worlds, I guess. The best, you get some Armlet, some Blightstone for that minus armor into the Radiance. I've seen this build as well, it can work. With that Radiance, you'll be able to scale a little bit better too. You don't have to just constantly be fighting. If a game slows down, you have that ability to farm fast too, and you have the Shadow Demon with illusions with the Radiance. It's pretty good.
Top. Again, Nico Baby to push out. Hiding in the jungle by his side in case a player is baited out by Demon Slayers.
I'm actually surprised that Alliance that consists out of Kunkka, Earth Spirit, and Jakiro are lacking damage in these fights. There's something wrong. I believe it's the pace at which Demon Slayers are playing. They're just left, right, and center jumping around. You have this Ember Spirit, you know, that's always on top of you, juking you. You aren't able to catch him. And it messes with Alliance so much that they aren't able to use their spells properly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're getting away with these objectives, Alliance. This tier 2, by the looks of it, won't be held onto by Demon Slayers. They'll allow this to fall. So 33, keeping up the split pressure. Maybe actually with a fortification and a TP in, they can hold onto it for at least a wave or two longer. Moonlight as well could be used to set up some kills. And indeed, Old White, he's got the treants off the tower, so they will manage to hold it there with just the Sand King coming in. Annihilate with the remainder of this Moonlight. He's going to eye up this, but they're prepared. Dust is out. Hansken in position to punish Annihilate for trying to sneak around, not being wary of the fact that ward coverage was there around that river that saw him stepping up towards their Ancients.
At least Nyx takes down the Jakiro, which is the silver lining in these last minutes. But then again, Ember Spirit, you have no business trying to kill that Bloodseeker or even scout him. Like, he has a BKB. You aren't taking it down no matter what. So it was a little bit of a greedy move. Also, when you pick up an Invis rune and you walk up the ramp like that. You should know
it's a big risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk. That's usually the place where you put a sentry to D-ward, to plant some wards as well. And the amount of time that they have spent in that triangle farming Ancients, like, you better be damn sure they have it warded.
Hansken.
Oh,
boy.
Happens.
Off the mark with the stun. Hey, still gets the bounty rune, so job's done in its mind. Does get dragged back, though, by Limp. Roll forward from the Spirit, and Old White will fall. Limp actually popping the BKB, worried that Demon Slayers would try and commit upon him. It's not going to be the case. But they do, as I say, manage to take down Old White Sand King. The rest of Demon Slayers able to get out of there.
All right, Sand King dies. At the same time, they waste one BKB charge of Kunkka, and they take the bounty. So, as you said before, job's done. For Sand King, that's all right.
Mid lane now. Costabile is trying to finish off this tower. Setup's there with the Torrent. He's got the rage. Full turn. Starts to munch in a Limp a little bit. He needs backup though if he's wanting to get out of there. Who's he got by his side? He does have the Shadow Demon. There will be a disruption. But the boat is going to come down to the lake. Can he still live? Another Torrent. Tiebreaker hit. It will take him down. They've killed off the Lifestealer. Now Zhuan's got to try and get out, but there's no chance. Alliance will get the two of them. And now with the kickback onto Flea, they may have set up for a third. Hansken, a little off the mark with the roll. They do still land the combo, though, from Lim. He has the control required to get that third kill.
Yeah,
as Demon Slayer slipping up a little bit there, losing Costabile. They should have just written it off as that and got the rest of them out. But because of the fact they tried to save him, they lose two more.
Feels definitely a little bit shaky. Like they're trying to push their limits a little bit too far. That Nyx, I understand why he was trying to take that tower, because he has rage. I hit the tower, I rage, I TP. But TP was on cooldown for 3 more seconds, and he used the rage.
Yeah, that was close.
He used the rage, yeah, and he couldn't TP afterwards.
I mean, 3 seconds, you know, it may sometimes seem like not a long time, but in Dota 2, it can really be an age.
Every second matters here. Exactly, 3-3 gets out just in time before Ember pours in.
Still very, very close. Costabile, despite that death, holding on to the top spot in net worth.
Yeah, but the 4 staffs are coming out. I love this from 3-3 because they will need to kite this guy a lot. Constabile, like he'll be trying to get on top of you, kill you quickly, you know. But if you have a couple 4 staffs, some kicks from Earth Spirit.
And here's the jump combo. Limp will be able to get the BKB off though. Costabile still doing a lot of damage here, just eating into the Kunkka. And Limp's dead. The silence from Hansken. They're trying to turn, but Costabile is pretty tanky. He'll turn, look towards Nico Baby. The chain stuns around. He's still alive, trying to get himself away. I believe inside in the creep. The turnaround, comes in with the Burrow Strike. Epi combo looks to Hansken. Silence upon him. Arrows out. Then stuns up Nico Baby. Jump forward from Annihilate. He'll finish off Hansken. It's a triple kill though for Nico Baby. Demon Slayers losing the fight. Only Annihilate left alive as he will manage to get out.
Massacre. Left, right, and center. 4 fall on the side of Demon Slayers. On the side of Alliance, I believe Jakiro bought back, so they lost, what, 3 plus a buyback?
4.
Yeah, 3 for 4, but Nyx dying, that's the one that hurts you the most. Ember Spirit, Annie, he was so good throughout the day, but he's a little bit off point the last couple of minutes. He needs to be involved faster. He needs to be the one that starts things off. It shouldn't be the Nyx and the Sand King. Sand King who has bought back, actually.
Could be a good chase. They know that Nico Baby, of course, he's already used the BKB, but a great turn from Vada. The setup, the Ice Path, Macropire into the Blood Right. Old Boy doesn't stand a chance. Annihilate's got to keep himself to the side whilst the silence wears off. Treants are out as they'll look to try and chase on. X-Mode dragged back into the Ice Path, still has a remnant out, but Nico Baby is trying to chase. Will be slowed down by the disruption. There's no more remnants, but there is a sleight of fist from Annihilate to dodge the Blood Right. 33 a little far forward. We'll see if Demon Slayers can get themselves back in there. They are without the Sand King. They're going to try for an attempt onto the Prophet. He'll go for the Sprout, but Costabile is locked in there with him and will kill him off for that.
Yeah, you don't really want to sprout yourself in with the Nyx. I believe what he was trying to do is perhaps push himself onto the high ground there or just separate himself from the Lifestealer so that he can TP away. Yeah, a little bit of a misplay, but overall a really good fight for Alliance. They take 2 consecutive fights that go well for them. Plus they kill the Sand King that just bought back. Old White's game is done. He's suffering super hard at the moment and he needs his space. Ember and Nyx, it's on you. You have to carry this boy as he has carried you for the last 2 series.
Already an immediate attempt to get inside the jungle. We'll see this again. Such a close fight between the two of them, but Alliance able to come out just on top. Nico Baby lives through it all and he gets a lot of work done.
this Nyx. He's fighting for such a long time, but Old White is on the sides. I don't know if he had some cooldowns or if he was channeling the epicenter. It's good, like they still get a couple of kills, but sometimes you think to yourself, maybe if he just jumps in and stuns, I could get away, maybe we could reset the fight, but then again, they do get a couple of kills.
I mean, you know, Nico Baby having that BKB and Maelstrom, his build was just so perfect for these sort of fights. Still having that good long health duration, and now Costabile. Silence is there for the setup. It's straight into the Ice Power. Bloodbright, he's silenced for so long, there's no way to play out of that. As Alliance getting the big kill again, Nico Baby playing it safe, committing the BKB charge to make sure Demon Slayers don't get back in and on top of them. They've taken out the Lifestealer. They know without one of their strongest hero at the moment, Demon Slayers, it's hard for them to contest the Rose. Sure, maybe one of the scarier heroes would have been the Sand King, but because he's so underfarmed, he really isn't a threat. They can just walk in and try and take this.
They're walking in, but guess who else is walking around? The whole team of Demon Slayers, besides the Knights. Who's that?
It's hard for them to stop this, though. They're taking it pretty quick. They're going to need some good timing. Oh, he's in. They'll jump in as well with the other man. They've done it. They've got the Bloodseeker. They're taking out the Prophet. And now with the BKB on Annihilate, he can chase for more. Pushing farther away. Oh, boy. He's on top of Hansken. Another Power Strike. Annihilate with a double. Jumps back down to the river. They're going to get all four of them.
They got all four and the Aegis on Old White. I mean, I was talking about his comeback.
They could do it. I mean, the numbers didn't look great. He's underfarmed, he's behind, but he makes that sort of play, has that sort of impact, even though he's not got the numbers behind him. He gets in perfect timing, and they knock Alliance out of the pit.
Very surprised by the supports of Alliance Fata. He's on the right side, but no one is on the left, and that's where they strike from. Usually, you have enough time to BKB here. But what happened? Was it on cooldown for Bloodseeker? Because he just fell in the pit. He was trying to take that Aegis. Doesn't manage to do so. Limp. He manages to pop his BKB, but that's just not enough. There's so much damage.
I mean, taking every hit. But the 4 kills, getting the Roche kill, and getting the Aegis on Old White. It could not have gone any better for Demon Slayers, that fight around the pit.
Man, they just keep on coming back in these series. Like just when I was worried for them, I thought
every time I seem to doubt these guys, they just pop off. They really, really do. Back to they themselves having the lead in this game. Still a very, very close match here to start off the best of 5. 27 minutes in, it's 21-22, and only a 2K difference.
Yeah, and you can see Flea, he should have his Greaves completed soon as well. Has 2.5k gold on top of Arcanes and the mech. A very tanky Mirana at the moment. Nico Baby with the Mjolnir and BKB, he does a lot. He does a lot of damage in these fights, but he needs more. The Basher will be the perfect pickup for him to mess with the Nikes a little bit more. And perhaps we'll see a smoke here. They are playing against an Aegis, so that's
set up for the blind Torrent. Costabile still gets the chance to pop the raid. Now Hansken, he's caught on the front, pulled down low by the Soul Catcher. They'll quickly finish off the Earth Spirit. Now with the Moonlight Shadow, they're going to see if they can catch anyone else out. Jump up to the high ground. Costabile is coming in. He's going to be there to offer up the damage. Chop it away. It's 9-3-man Torrent. Ice Path down, 33. He's still alive. Pops the pipe. Goes for the Sprout. He's trying to TP up, but they'll jump in. Burst him low. They've lost the Prophet, but Costabile's dead. 2 buybacks now coming out from Alliance. They're throwing everything into this fight. Annihilate will be able to TP away to safety. Oh boy, goes for the blink out. Hansken trying for the chase. He's been dusted. They've got the vision onto him. A TP out will not be successful.
What is this game? Like, it goes back and forth so much. They try to go in way too deep. They see 3-3. 3-3 looks like a solid pick-off, right? Like, you can get him. But perfect ice path into Bloodbright. That Nyx was burning in that Macro Pyre for such a long time that he just died in it. He moved away a little bit, but it just wasn't enough.
And it was a great call on the buybacks there. You know, they saw that Costabile was dying as quickly as he was. They knew as a team, put everything into this. We're going to be able to get extra kills, and we're also going to be able to apply some pressure towards the high ground and maybe find some more blood. Limp, he's caught Flea outside of the base. The leap's coming out, but the Cat Lady burns to pieces. Dead for 50. See how much damage they can get done onto the tier 3. Costabile and Old White will be back in about 15 seconds.
Ayani, he's trying to defend. He has his Sleight of Fist to work with and the Mjolnir, but will that be enough? It looks like it might be. They're retreating as Nyx is coming back. 5 seconds for Sand King too. And when you have full vision of the enemy team, it's so easy to set up that epicenter or a Sparrow into Infest Bomb. I was thinking about this. I love it. He's buying a BKB on
Okay,
Ice.
he's saying what?
I love it.
Deso, a little too far with the greed. Let's get someone else with his Mithril Hammer.
I'm just watching this game and I'm thinking, man, like if I was an Ix, I would get the BKB because they have. Basically, they're only killing him with magic damage. Micropyre,
and all
Ice
the
Pad,
silences,
and
right?
all the silences. Like it's a perfect pickup for him. Even though it looks like an Ix, BKB, what are you, 2K? No, like it can work, definitely. Now they just need to figure out the way to deal with the control of Alliance, of all the 4 stabs. They need some, like an Abyssal on Ix would be perfect, but he has to invest in something different at the moment.
That's smart. Basher done for Nico, baby. So, you know, sure, at the same time the BKB comes out for the lifesteal, he's going to have that prolonged duration of magic immunity. They have at least got something to go through it. And being able to have that extra bit of control, not only against the lifesteal, but also, of course, annihilates Ember. Does have to be a little careful anytime he stands a little too close to Nico Baby in case Nico Baby gets that, you know, just that opening bash that can set up the follow-up combo from Hansken and Fada.
He's showing himself with the Moonlight Shadow, and because of that, Alliance should be well aware of what's happening. Even though this BKB is great, I just stated my love for this item pickup. I have to say that maybe they will lack damage in the next couple of minutes, because Ember and Sand King, will that be enough?
I mean, it's pretty much relying on what Demon says, hitting the big combos before Alliance can pop their BKBs.
And Limp, he might hit a big combo here.
Yeah, catching H1, actually missing the torrent because he's got his eyes set on something bigger. He doesn't really care about that one. He wants to find Costabile. Will they get the bash?
Bash!
They got it! The Nico Baby gets the connection. Costabile locked down and left behind. The Lifestealer falls as that basher pickup doing the work there for Nico.
Yeah, just a perfect pickup for Nico Baby as well. The moment he gets that basher, it's much easier for him to fight into the Nikes and the Ember Spirit. If you get a lucky proc off, you can get the pick off as easily as they just did.
I think we can imagine that we are going to see Costabile play that a little more careful, because to sort of give him the benefit of the doubt there, it was only just picked up right. Yeah. So he felt that he could still go for those aggressive pushes and rely on the raised TP. Now he knows that he cannot get away with that.
Also, Juan was well positioned. He was the one that broke that smoke. Even though it looks like they ran into him, he's the one on the far side in the Radiant jungle, right? So if they go there, Nikes won't get caught. However, they caught the Shadow Demon and then they were like, nah, let's just go for the big target. Let's go for the juicy Nikes.
Of course, whilst Costabile is down and out, Demon Slayer's having to be careful. It's giving Alliance a lot of space to start crawling over to Demon Slayer's half of the map. Annihilate trying to find the space to finish off those two sort of key objectives as a late game member. Hitting that 25 and getting that Aghanims so he can start to come out with a quick and flashy Remnant plays.
Yeah, something happened in the mid-game to Annihilate. Like, he was playing so actively early on, then a couple of bad fights. Oh, Rupture on Juan. Should be fine here. Has disruption to work with. Yeah, should be good. But after a couple of misplays by Ember Spirit, he just stopped. Let's see.
He's trying to start something here, Annihilate. Power Strike follow-up. Hansken's the focus with the range pop. Costabile looking to keep on top of them. He's been forced down, Hansken, but he can't get away. Annihilate now looking to catch on to more. He's got the two-man chains on both Fada and Lim. Fada blocked off actually by his own teammates. Sprout there, 33 minutes. Fada cannot escape. Oh boy, he's not done. He's in with a two-man Power Strike. Lim now feeling pressure to pop the BKB. He'll turn with the burn-up, but Costabile's rage keeps him more than fine. A buyback from Fada comes into play as he feels like the fight may continue, and Demon Slayers definitely want it to. They're chasing. All White's in with a blink. The Yule setup. Lim, he doesn't have the BKB available. He's already used it. The arrow follow-up's there. The Kunkka's dead.
They take down 3. They take down Hansken first on that Earth Spirit. Then the Kunkka. And obviously Jakiro, who bought back. A very good fight for them. And that all worked because of that BKB from Nikes. He starts the fight with the BKB and then he starts with the Rage afterwards. And Earth Spirit, Jakiro, they're like, what? Like, we can't do anything to him. There's no... Ice Pad doesn't work. Your silences from Earth Spirit, absolutely useless heroes versus this Nikes. And Sand King, he made this fight work too. I just have to say.
I mean, All White, he really has been pulling it up. He was bullied at the start. You know, you said with the setup of the lanes, it was a rough game for the offlaners. But Old White having a big impact with these Sand King plays, the way that he can catch and chase down, you know, make sure that suddenly 1 kill, it turns into 2 and then 3 when Demon Slayers get the flow going.
He's hungry, he's bloodthirsty, he goes for these kills. He doesn't stop, he's not satisfied, he wants more.
Annihilate has been found. They've got the ice buzzer, but again, oh boy! He's in with a two-man epi. Power Strike is caught out the two of them. They'll shove 33 back to the high ground. A buyback, it has to come out from Limp. He feels pressured to do so. Nico Baby is being held back by the slow, the demonic purge, causing issues. Alliance, they cannot chase this, despite Limp buying back. And now Demon Slayers with the Moonlight Shadow. They're looking to maybe try and re-engage here. Limp, throw himself mid.
They're going back. Flea is going back. I believe this is the right choice. They had a small opportunity there to just jump back in with the Sand King and Nyx and perhaps turn a fight, but they had no vision on them. There was 4 heroes of Alliance with 50% HP clumped up together, and that just tells you the story of how important warding is. Like if you had a couple of wards deeper in the Radiant phase, like in between the tier 3 and tier 2, or perhaps on that cliff, they could have won a huge team fight there. But I believe they're satisfied with what happened too. They forced a couple of buybacks from Limp, obviously.
That's a big one.
And also, Sand King jumps in, gets them a kill, and also gets the Nyx out. Like, Old White, he does everything, man. Like, what more do you want from this, sir?
I mean, they're going to look to Roche. It didn't go too great for them last time. Obviously, an objective that they do desperately want to try and find with Limp's buyback being on cooldown. You know that Demon Slayers are definitely not going to give them the space to get it for free.
They have so many spells to work with and so many heroes that work well around the pit to give you info. You have Ember with Remnants, with Sleight of Fist. You have Shadow Demon with Poison. You have Mirana with arrows. I don't think you can just waltz into the pit. You need a pick-off, and that's why they smoke right now.
Let's see what they can get with this. Trying to go for the long wraparound through the jungle of Demon Slayers, but at the same time, Demon Slayers going for a bit of a mirror move themselves as they invade the jungle of Alliance.
This is what they did before. Remember, when Alliance was doing Roche, they wrap around, they go around this tier 1 on the mid lane, perhaps even on the high ground here, and then they jump into the pit. But this move is to be expected. It's a little bit more obvious, and that's why Alliance actually used that scan before. Let's see, Old White is infested still.
I like the build-up as well from Old White, going for the Lotus next, something else to bail out his lifestealer when going in on the front lines. So, of course, the Ember as well, both cores, so they don't have to worry too much about ruptures or obviously having the silence being removed from them in these fights, when we are going to see both teams' cores have the BKB durations get lower and lower down towards the 5.
This game is definitely close. Nico Baby moving closer and closer to that MKB. Also, Furion has a lot. 4-staff into that Hex fleet.
So they're going to start things off. Got the disruption, takes him out of the blood bright and keeps him more than safe. No follow-up allowed from Alliance thanks to that save from Juan.
Both of these teams understand each other perfectly well. You use that text on Flea, but you aren't thinking about going on that Mirana. If you go, you're signing your own doom, because it's obvious that they're around Flea on the mid lane. You're just trying to poke them, to prod them, maybe force a couple of spells.
Another shot, another save.
You see how they're always playing from distance. They aren't really committing to anything. Just trying to see if maybe disruption comes off later. Maybe Flea uses his greaves, and then you can fight without that big item for Demon Slayers.
Still positioned in this area, Alliance, to make sure that at least Demon Slayers themselves cannot get into the pit. Before anyone has a chance to approach, they are going to have to find a fight. Costabile getting closer towards that AC.
Yeah, he moves out of Sand King finally to stretch his legs a little bit. You know, he's been crammed inside Sand King for way too long. It's, you know, not the greatest place to be.
Oh, it's pretty sandy.
Yeah.
That's bottom lane. Annihilate. That's found 33. 33 is definitely going to get some backup. Fada will lay down the ice path, but between the two of them, not really a lot they can do to lock him down.
Both of these teams are one step ahead, and that's what I love. They're thinking ahead. 3-3.
Oh, right. Again, he's got the setup. He gets the two of them. The arrow comes in, will be blocked off actually by an illusion. And Costabile starting to weave through them all. The roam is down, giving them some sort of safety, Alliance, but is it enough? So much right-click being done by Costabile as he'll take down Hansken, or Willie Hansken trying to run away, but he can't escape. Double buyback comes out from Alliance. We'll see if Old White wants to try and get back in the fight as he's dead for 70. Limbs being stayed on top of by Annihilate. The silence forcing Annihilate to calm it down a little bit.
All right, they need to move out of the Radiant side of the map right now, Demon Slayers, but they will not go far. Remember, Roche is still up. there was a buyback by 3-3 and Hanskin. This is a huge victory for Demon Slayers as long as they aren't forced into fighting before Sand King is up. And if you're Alliance right now, you're definitely thinking about Rosh. You have to. It's five of you that are alive. You also use 2 buybacks. I believe this is your chance to go and force that Sand King flee.
Hanskin.
The only issue is if you go into the pit and you force Sand King to buy back, you might just lose that fight, and you don't have buybacks, so it's a difficult one. Both of these teams, they're just thinking ahead. Furion buying that Hex. Edis, he didn't even have one single, like he still doesn't have one single component of it. But Ember is already buying Lincolns. He's already thinking ahead to get that item that will protect him from this nasty Furion, because that's the only way he dies. They can't really kill him right now. They don't necessarily have the stun lock that will allow them to take him down. Earth Spirit and Jakiro, they're fine, but he has BKB. And maybe with the Abyssal of Bloodseeker, but it's very unlikely that they will kill him until that Hex is online. Once that Hex is up on 3-3, anything can happen.
As we've seen so these last few fights, now Alliance with the buybacks, they have been able to push Demon Slayers back each time, but it has been costly. There's now a jump up, an 8k lead because of these buybacks that Alliance have expended in the last few engagements, as Demon Slayers are allowed to have this opportunity to get sort of that item ahead.
And they also have this huge opportunity to take down 2 targets and just win a huge fight because they don't have buybacks.
There we go. They'll start with a quick answer. Fada's dead and he has no buyback. Dead for 95. They're going to have to try and fight as 4 if the fight continues. Demon Slayers, they're going to make sure that they can try and abuse the fact that they have the numbers advantage. Annihilate getting in underneath the tower. Arrow will miss. Change connect onto 33. They're starting to move Costa Pile back in towards the front lines, but Alliance will back off. They'll kite them out for now. Jump in again, Annihilate, he's on top of Liv. There's the commitment from Old White. He gets Hansken, another man down without buyback, and gives them the space to claim the tier 2 tower.
Straight into the pit, I believe. Jakiro does have that buyback, but Earth Spirit is huge when it comes to the DPS that Alliance is dishing out. So you can definitely go into the pit and force the buyback from Jakiro and maybe even win a fight after that. This is also smart. 3-3 ports back to the bottom lane instead, outpushes that tier 2. But I'm not certain if they'll be able to contest this Roshan. And that's Aegis, that's Cheese. A perfect fight from Demon Slayers, besides the fact that Old White just pressed R and then moved, cancelled his ulti. That happens, you know, happens to the best of us.
Now, for sure, I guess what sometimes in the circumstance that you want to try and get the damage off, but sometimes it's more important to just instantly get it with the Forest Charge. You know, just having the stun rather than trying to wait the full duration of the channel.
Definitely.
You got to make those quick calls sometime.
He was pretty much hidden in the woods, and he's thinking, all right, if a fight breaks out, I'll have the epicenter and I'll jump in. But instead, Alliance, they moved back and he read the situation a little bit bad, but still, they killed the Hansken Earth Spirit.
Now having Aegis and Cheese, Demon Slayers, very much with the itemization to move towards attempting for high ground. Alliance, will they be able to hold? It's going to be hard. Any sort of time that Annihilate finds the opportunity to jump in and sort of make Alliance fully focus onto him, it's just giving Costa Pile and Old White this space to follow through with the follow-up.
We might see some Rage into attack the building, then go back until Rage is up again. And that's exactly what's happening.
Bit of damage onto the tower. Costa Pile having a poke, feeling confident with that Aegis.
Yeah, this is your 101 Ix with an Aegis and Siege. It's pretty much just the Siege of Radiant High Ground. Use that Rage, hit the tower, move back. Use your Rage, hit the tower, move back. The only... Rupture is there on Flea though.
Gonna try and see if they can grab this. Limp steps forward, changes her out. Annihilate goes for the poke. BKB will be popped to try and turn. Has been disarmed. Finally, the Heaven's Halberd wears off. Limp himself having a BKB. Annihilate. He's into the base. He's going to jump in to finish off Fadi. He's looking for the squishy support. Another jump out with the Remnant separating himself as Costa Pile and Old White. They come straight in. They're on top of 33. 33 trying to keep himself safe from the Sprout. Ego maybe pops the BKB. He has to run back towards the base. He's so low on the Bloodseeker. Will get back towards the fountain. A buyback's there from Fada, but Demon Slayer still all alive. Aegis still intact on Costa Pile. They'll bring the tier 3 tower down low, and they'll also force out the fortification.
This is dangerous for Demon Slayers. They have to be careful about the way they play this out now. Buyback has been committed by Fata, but they don't have their BKBs on. They have the Aegis, but maybe they shouldn't risk it. Let's see.
Gonna have the Ice Bar, but quickly with the Remnant out of the Slight. Annihilate's able to jump himself back to safety.
Yeah, they're moving back. This is a much better play. Wait out your items. Wait the BKB on Ix. Wait the BKB on everyone else. Wait your cooldowns as well, and then move in again. Alliance, they felt forced to move out, and they did it well. I'm surprised they didn't go for the Nix or anything similar. Instead, Rupture on Flea, X-Marks and Torrent on Flea, and try to get behind Nix. It's the only play that they had. Luckily for Alliance, no one but Fata died in that fight, but they were so close. That did not feel comfortable.
Oh, nearly getting... I mean, Nico Baby was incredibly low on the Bloodseeker. Did make the correct call to back off in time.
Oh, well, he needs to back off right now because Ayani is chasing.
It doesn't quite get the hit there with the chains. That is the Hex now done for 33, so... Alliance themselves now having a more reliable way to start things off.
This basically gives you a chance to take down the Nix or even the Embers.
All right, he's going to jump in, disrupt the combo that was attempted by Lim. Hanskin has to roll out, but the block off's there. Kostabile moves into position as Hanskin. He's trying to slide himself back to safety, jump forward. Another block off by Annihilate this time means that Hanskin cannot roll back to safety. Then one man down, and now with the slight spam, Demon Slayers having the power to push Alliance back towards their fountain, allowing Kostabile to start hitting onto the melee racks. Annihilate just playing fully aggressive. Now out comes the Hex, so they have to require follow-up. They don't. A defensive disruption keeps the Ember safe. The Rets continue to get focused. The Sprout will be used by 33 to try and slow things down. Going on to 2, as well as the Macro Pipe, but the full set of racks are claimed up top.
They're not done.
They really aren't. They're looking for more. Nico Baby's going to pot the BKB. See if he can find something out of this. Actually being X'd by his own teammate here to try and keep him in the fight. Lim, they've lost the Dragon, both supports without buyback. And Kostabile, he's not done. Goes in, does get disarmed by the Halberd. Torrent will be there onto the 3 of them. Lim's coming with the BKB. Do they have the damage? No, they bring the life blow. He's done. He's out of the game. Has to buyback immediately, Nico Baby. As Demon Slayers, they're losing nobody. Everybody is staying alive as they push back Alliance, move towards a second set of racks, and they're getting away with it. It seems that Alliance just do not have the firepower to stop Demon Slayers. They're too far behind.
What is this sustain from Demon Slayers? How are they even doing it? The Greaves from Mirana are helping, but this is ridiculous. They're unable to die. The BKB from Constabile, and he's in again.
Oh, no, wait.
Epicenter.
Straight in. The Kuka's dead. Another buyback having to be used. Both cores now with the buybacks on cooldown. They've got to be careful, Alliance, but at the same time, they're desperately trying to kill off somebody. The 2-man target will catch out the Nix, and it will catch out the Ember. Big kills for Alliance to find. But they took the damage in the base. The second melee rack's gone. Did have to expend buybacks. They'll push Demon Slayers back for now, but the game is not getting any easier for them.
They need to force some buybacks out immediately. You just got 2 biggest cores of the game for Demon Slayers. You need to force at least 1 buyback, and that's why they're just pushing down mid immediately. They're
gotta go for something drastic.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. You're desperate at the moment. You're 2 sides down. They've been just dominating you in that phase. Like, you aren't playing Dota. I don't know what that is. You're just sitting on... Wait, it's the defense of the Ancient, actually. That's right. They're sitting on high ground defending.
There we go. Let's see if they can force out at least one of the buybacks. I mean, if they don't get away with either of them, this is not great at all from Alliance. Unable to force either Kostabile's or Annihilate's reaction out of this. So Demon Slayers will continue to sit very happy with the position they are in this game.
Abyssal almost completed for Nico Baby. That might help them out a little bit in this next team fight. Perhaps you can lock down that Nix and kill him off, but Furion, 3-3, my bro, you have to hex this Shadow Demon. You have to go behind and hex him. If you don't control the Shadow Demon, you aren't killing anyone. These disruptions from Juan have been on point. Every single game he's played this Shadow Demon. You just give this boy a little space, he gets that Etrolance, and suddenly you can't find him. He's saving everyone. He's just making your life living hell when it comes to any sort of pickoffs. And also Mirana, Flea, I don't know, Greaves, Crimson. This does not feel like a position 4 anymore.
I mean, you see, he's so tanky.
Yeah, this
is not a hero you can kill. Yeah. And, you know, that's not to say that Old White's been having a bad game. He's been having a great game. You know, sure, he's not a man that needs to flash the cash. He can pull off the plays sort of been an item or two behind. Each and every fight, he's always managed to land those burrow strikes, 2 men minimum every single time that he's been catching out.
2 more seconds on the rage duration, plus the BKB. Satanic also queued up. After that, you'll have that bonus status resistance to prevent the Hex from doing so much damage and all the disables of Alliance. These big level 25s coming out. I believe Jakiro has a 150 gold per minute on level 20.
He does, he's picked it up.
Yeah, that's good. He will be able to get some more wards up.
I was going to say, he's building up a lot of money. I mean, if you are far away, is there any sort of item you'd like to see him get that could help for these holds?
He just queued up a Ghost. I mean, it's good for kiting, so he doesn't die first, but it's not really... I mean, it will impact the fight a lot, because you need to survive. If you're Jakiro, I believe that Ghost is good. Even an E-Blade after that Ghost would be perfect for them.
Still, as it is, you know, Alliance, they cannot afford to make any moves where it's not the full 5 of them. And for the most part, just staying away from Demon Slayers when it comes to being outside of the base. They're the best chance to really just try and hold from the high ground.
I wonder if this is the right play to go for this high ground push right now from Demon Slayers. Perhaps getting a pick off first would be a little bit easier, but forcing them back to base is also pretty good. Constabile.
So they can start things, Lim. It's going to be clipped here by the arrow. Bloodbright will try and force Demon Slayers back. Will do so. They won't want to jump in any further, being a little careful with how they poke at this. Another arrow clips onto Lim. Lim and Cave offered for safety as Lim gets away. Constabile ready to move back in. They will try and make an attempt with the Rupture, but it was onto the Lotus, so Nico, baby, he's got to hold back. He's got to wait off this Rupture. He's hurting himself. So even though he lands it, he's going to have to hold inside of the base. Demon Slayers can reset.
Nyx is pretty low right now, 50%. Inside of Ember Spirit, they move back to the base to outpush. This is one of the better things that they've got against Nature's Prophet and his split pushes. You have this Ember Spirit. He's always able to go back, Remnant back in. Easy game, easy life. Fata, Force Ghost, all right. They are defending, but look, this tower is already on 50%. This strategy of lotusing the Nyx, Lincoln spearing him, then he just rages, attacks the tower.
Yeah, he just goes in and there's nothing they can do. Hex will be there onto the Sand King. Fada forcing to the side to stay alive. BKB popped by Constabile. He'll turn, look to stay on top of Hanskin. He's trying to fight down on the Earth Spirit. Annihilate. He's jumped forward onto Fada on the backline. Abyssal Blaze down, but Old White.
Nice.
He's in with the bow. Catches out 33, but they've killed off Constabile. Constabile's gone. Can Alliance get anything more out of this hold? They're onto Old White. Old White cannot escape this. It's a second down. Nico, baby, with the bash. Gets the kill. A jump out for Annihilate. 33. TP's in. He's there with the control. The silence to Hex. Nico, baby, can he finish it? He has to be careful. He's ready to turn around. All White. He's in. The stone catches Nico, baby. They've taken out Hansken. Abyssal Blade dropped onto Fada. The Dragon.
They have no buyback.
Get out of here. Limp surrounded by the Demon Slayers. The Kunko will fall.
This is the game. No buybacks from all 3 of them.
GG well played. And Demon Slayers starting off this best of 5 grand finals with a very convincing, confident, impressive win. They looked immaculate towards the end of the game.
Amazing. Where did these guys come from, man? With so much energy, with so much style and swag. They take game 1 versus Alliance. This last fight, they die, they instantly, the 2 of them, they buy back as Ember is initiated on. And as all attention is on Annie, on that Ember. They poured behind, they go down on Nico Baby, they just take him down with style, they just wipe them. No buybacks, game over.
I mean, what a way to start a series against Alliance, right? Sure, you know, we've seen Demon Slayers have this great run so far, but it's been against Liquid, NRP, J-Storm. These have all been 3 teams that, you know, they've looked shaky. They haven't looked to their best. Alliance, on the other hand, they've looked pretty fantastic. Yep. But here we have, first game to start off the final, and Demon Slayers, they shut them down as well.
Who would have guessed? A team from the lower bracket coming in to the grand finals.
From the open qualifier.
From the open qualifier, from NA after everything.
They're doing it. They will. So far, obviously, they've got still quite a long road ahead of them. It is a best of 5, but what a way to start things off. Game 1 of the best of 5 going to Demon Slayers.